Hey, good people, God bless you, God bless you. Welcome, greetings, and salutations. This is Bishop Wayne Malcolm, the business bishop, always excited and delighted to be a part of your life and legacy through this ministry. I know that some of you are wondering, what's the bishop doing streaming live on this day that he doesn't normally do it? Well, we decided to put in this very special session because it is my privilege to host and to interview one of the most brilliant, blessed, anointed, graced, and gifted minds that I've met. It's not the first time we're interviewing him. By God's grace, it won't be the last time we're interviewing him. But I can say that every time that I've had an opportunity to spend a few moments in the presence of this brilliant mind, I've always come away uplifted, enlightened, empowered, energized, ready to go. I mean, he is the embodiment of an unstoppable attitude, and he's going to explain why, because I'm going to drill, I'm going to dig, and we're going to talk about it. Would you please help me welcome to our platform for the second time, the one and only, the genius Coach Cal.
Thank you, Bishop. I really appreciate that great introduction, and I know for sure that you were describing my spirit man that was created in the image and in the likeness of God. So I received that because I understand who I am. Thank you for that.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, look, I guess that there are some of you who know who Coach Cal is, and there are some of you that do not. So, for those people that are meeting you for the very first time on my channel, Could you tell us a bit more about Coach Cal? Who is the genius Coach Cal? And perhaps, where did you start? Tell us about the journey. What brought you to where you are today?
Thank you. Well, Bishop, I am a kingdom genius. I have discovered down through the years that the kingdom is inside of me. So that's who I am, first of all. I am kingdom. And because I was created in the image and in the likeness of God, and because God is the genesis of genius, that makes me a kingdom genius. So, Bishop, that's who I am. But I didn't always feel that way, Bishop. And when I was younger, I believed that everyone in my family had been given genius abilities except for me. And it wasn't until, Bishop, that I discovered my entrepreneurial spirit that I found out that I did have something to offer. So at the very early age of 13, Bishop, I started cutting grass and shoveling snow and had my own clientele. My parents never, ever bought me another shirt or a pair of shoes or socks ever again, because I did discover that God had given me uh, genius things contrary to my earlier beliefs. And something else, Bishop, I've been married for 41 and a half years to the same wife, Tila, for 41 and a half years. We have three beautiful daughters, and they're all grown and gone and all of that. But Bishop, I am on fire this morning because I know exactly who I am. I know my identity. I found out, Bishop, that he blessed me before I was born, that before he ever asked me to be, to do, or to have anything, that he had already put the blessing upon me. So, Bishop, I've been an entrepreneur. My mother and father never had to buy me another shirt, pair of pants, or anything since the age of 13. I discovered that there is something that is hidden on the inside of you. And I discovered that God had already blessed me and that I've been given everything that pertains to life and godliness. When I found out that the kingdom was inside of me, and then I found out that God made me in his image and in his likeness, I found out that I was a kingdom genius, Bishop. I think I'll leave it there for now.
Wow and wow. So, I think it's a fascinating story. Of course, I've heard the story several times, and been with you in person, and we've done some programs together. And if anyone is conscious of the creative, of their own creative capacity, it is certainly yourself. And to think that there was a time in your life when you didn't feel like you had anything particular to offer, and then I guess that revelation dawned upon you, and I think it's come to characterize your message, because whenever you are speaking, you are speaking to that authentic, original, God-made part of the person. And perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the difference between spirit, soul, and body, and why it is that you speak to the spirit of the man. Let's hear a bit about that.
Bishop, I found out that the number one problem in the world, and it's not even a close second, the number one problem in the world is an identity crisis. And we have been trained to identify with our flesh, with our natural man. But Bishop, what I discovered my divinity within my humanity. I discovered the importance of walking in the spirit. I discovered how important it is to master your divine identity and to activate your spiritual potential so that you can frame your worlds, your inside world, as well as your outside world. And you need to be able to do that with clarity and confidence and abundance. And Bishop, the thing about that is we identify so much with what we're called, our name. And God said he changed our name. He changed our name, and we need to be able to identify with the divine part of us. There is a divine part that's inside of everyone. I call it the kingdom genius. I call it the kingdom because Jesus said that the kingdom is within you. And because the kingdom is within you, Bishop, and the fact that you are made in the image and in the likeness of God, and God is the genesis of genius, that means you are kingdom genius. Bishop, when I found that out, it changed everything about my life. I have had an identity shift, Bishop. This identity that I have, I know that I'm made in God's image. I know that I have his DNA on the inside of me. That's downloaded noble authority. I know, Bishop, that I have the essence of his presence within me. I know that I have his nature. I know that the truth that I have within me, Bishop, the impact that I'm supposed to make, the fact that I'm a three-part being, spirit, soul, and body. And then the why in identity, Bishop, is all about you, your own uniqueness. He created me to be just the way that I am. And that's why it's so important, Bishop. I'm sorry, Bishop.
Wow.
I'm on fire this morning, Bishop.
Wow. Now that's really good. Now I am aware that you just took the word identity, used it as an acronym, and begin to break down what it means to experience an identity shift. Now, this is a subject that I know was one of the subjects that really brought us together, because in the motivational industry, the self development, the self help, the success sciences, and so forth, there's a lot of emphasis on a mindset shift, right? So it's about shifting your mindset. But what I discovered is that the divine order for success is to be, do, and have. Right? That's the divine order, right? And when we get it back to front and we try to do something so we can have something so we can be someone, or we try to have something so we can do something so we can be someone, we're getting it back to front. Actually, the starting point is your being. And that speaks to your sense of identity, becoming the person who can do the work so that you can get the results, right? So what occurred to me was that mindset shifts often speak to where you are, okay?
Yes.
But an identity shift unveils, unravels, reveals who you are. So identity speaks to your who-ness, and your mindset is constantly evolving and adapting to and responding to circumstances, situations, opportunities, threats that you experience in stages throughout your life, so that your mind is constantly changing, it's constantly evolving. But what is it building on? See, if it's building on the foundation of who you are, now you can see yourself winning, right? Because you identify as the winner, right? You see yourself overcoming because you identify as the overcomer. You see yourself prospering because you identify as prosperous. You see yourself blessed, and you can see through the mud and the maze and the thick and the forest. You can see through it because you can see fundamentally who you really are. And I know that this is one of your one of the core features of your message is that revelation of your who-ness, because that's the identity shift that actually sets everything else in motion. See, if you don't see yourself as a successful entrepreneur, okay, as prosperous and blessed, if you don't see yourself as that,
Yes.
then you're always going to be subconsciously, sometimes unconsciously sabotaging your own opportunities, talking yourself out of an opportunity, becoming your own worst enemy, entertaining negativity, doubt, fear, and literally fighting against your own future because you can't see yourself there. Is this making, is this what we're about out here?
Yes, sir. Totally. Bishop, we need to align ourselves with God's pre-framed design, and we need to understand his kingdom way of doing things, his principles. There's a legacy that he has for us. And it's so very important that we get a revelation of our who-ness. Can't say it enough, Bishop. You need a revelation of your who-ness. You need to understand that it's only in him. That way, I never have to be concerned about who I'm going to be when I wake up in the morning. Because if I am in him, and if I have his spirit, I always have that as my basis, Bishop. And therefore, I know if I can just adapt to the attributes and characteristics of God, if I understand that that's my core being, then I never have to be concerned about getting off message. That's the real deal, Bishop. The identity revelation, this shift. Let me just give you the acronym for shift, Bishop. It's a supernatural shift. It's a shift of the heart. It's an inter exchange. It's a shift of faith. And it is a being translated. That's the type of shift that it is, Bishop. It's an identity shift where I'm no longer struggling to understand who I am. That's the difference, Bishop.
Wow and wow. Now, see, one of the things I love about you and the work that you do is that you're not just one of these people out here saying, okay, this is what you should do. This is how you should think. This is how you should speak. This is how you should operate. Okay. Instead, you've actually created some technologies that actually help people to do that, right? So you've actually created the tools, all right? And you've done this through something that you call kingdom frameworks. And I think that these kingdom frameworks are absolutely genius because you know memory memory is such a huge subject. A lot of people think they have a bad memory. They don't really have a bad memory. They use poor methods for recalling information because the way God designed you, like everything you've ever experienced, everything you've ever heard, everything you've ever tasted, touched, smelt, seen, it's there. It's in your subconscious, your unconscious, and when we remember, we simply recall. And when we use poor methods of recall, then we're often having to try to remember things that we should know. Okay, so you have a tool, you have a technology, you have a methodology for helping people really embed an idea, right? And you call it the kingdom framework. So can you tell us a bit more about kingdom frameworks?
Absolutely, Bishop. Absolutely. Absolutely, I can. Kingdom frameworks is it's a biblically inspired system or process designed to help individuals to align their beliefs, their actions, and their purpose with God's kingdom principles. And so God gave me this kingdom frameworks. And let me just explain it a little bit and tell you what it consists of. I'll use an acronym to tell you about frameworks. So frameworks is about faith and revelation. It's about alignment, mindset, empowerment. It's about wisdom and opportunities. It's about relationships. It's about the kingdom. And most importantly, it's about spiritual intelligence. So every framework, every framework is a building block. It's a building block so that you can build upon your most holy faith, so that in the marketplace, you can have a quick recall for anything that you want to remember concerning how do I bring together my faith with my work and be able to do it in a very integrous way. It is so very important for you to not to forget what manner of man you are when you get into the marketplace. When your number one goal in life should be to operate in the kingdom, to always put the kingdom first. And the kingdom is about having keys and inheritance, new nature, the government, dominion, origin, and a mandate. And so therefore, if you understand that you have kingdom frameworks, then God gave me this system about putting together what I call apps, APPS, and that stands for acronyms, principles, pictures, and stories. Because acronyms, it's a mnemonic. It will help you to remember things from so many years ago. Bishop, when I was in the 5th grade, we're talking about 50 plus years ago, a long time ago. I don't want to tell my age, Bishop, but more than 50 years ago, they said, we want you to remember the 5 Great Lakes. Bishop, if I wanted to, I cannot forget those 5 Great Lakes because they gave me something to remember it by. They said, we want you to remember the word homes, HOMES, and that stands for Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and Lake Superior. Bishop, what is it about acronyms that can help you to have a great recall system? Bishop, ever since then, God has given me thousands, and hear me when I say this, he's given me thousands of frameworks and these acronyms that can help you to have this recall system so that you can prosper and be in good health. Bishop, is so very important that we can know that every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, that's how we're supposed to live. That is God's currency. It's his word, Bishop. And so understanding that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Bishop, I got to give you one more. I found one day in the book of Job, 37th chapter, and it says, by the breath of God, ice is given. And as soon as I heard it, I knew that it was something. Ice is information, comprehension, and execution with revelation. By the breath of God, Bishop, I learned this from you. Here's what I learned from you, that there are different applications of the scripture that you can take. Maybe it wasn't talking exactly about that, but if I can take an application of the scripture to cause me to better remember what it is that God is wanting me to understand, that every word that proceeds out of his mouth is ice, it's information, it's comprehension, and it's execution, and it's revelation. Bishop, don't get me started this morning. It's kind of early for me this
Wow.
morning.
Wow and wow. You know, this is why it's really, really hard to put a time on the two of us having a conversation, right? And now I know that something's coming up soon this very month in which we're going to take this conversation further. But just to kind of summarize, you know, what I'm hearing you say. First thing I'm hearing you say is that, look, for a believer, right, you don't have a career, you have a calling, right? For a believer, you don't have a profession, you have a purpose, all right? And actually your success lies in your ability to demolish the divide between your work and your faith, so that actually when you go into the marketplace, you are coming into that place with heavenly resources. You're coming into that place with spiritual intelligences. You're coming into that place, you know, with a superior psychology. And because of this unstoppable attitude, this superior psychology, the spiritual intelligence, and this grace for the workspace, right? You are able to achieve outstanding results, accelerate your progress, and operate like a Joseph in Egypt, operate like an Esther in Persia, operate like a Daniel in Babylon, and experience favor, promotion, protection, prosperity, all through the fact that there is no gap between your work and your faith, right? Your work is ministry. Your ministry is your work, and you are flowing with that. Now, what I'm also hearing is that these apps, these acronyms, principles, pictures, and stories are the way that you commit to memory who you are, whose you are, why you are there. In the same way that you got to remember all the Great Lakes through an acronym, you've literally created a world of acronyms, principles, pictures, and stories that help believers embrace and embed the truth of our who-ness and what's available to us in this in the warehouse of amazing grace. All right. Amazing grace. The Bible talks about manifold grace, the manyfold grace of God, meaning that the grace of God is like this huge warehouse of resources that we access through faith, right? So it's by grace through faith. There's a grace for your space, there's a grace for your assignment, there's a grace for every facet of your life, and is accessed through our faith. So your tools, your technology, they're faith building tools and technologies. They are transformational because as you commit to the acronyms, the principles, the pictures, and the stories, you are transforming your mindset. And how does transformation even happen? It happens by the renewing of the mind, right?
That's right.
So this is very, very exciting for me, right? And you've invited me again to kind of share at your up and coming challenge, right? So you have a challenge coming up this January in which you are going to deliver some kingdom frameworks. You're going to show people how to commit to memory. How the Bible says, look, when you are a possessor of certain things, when you're a possessor of certain promises, then you must not forget the Lord your God. I mean, if you look at how many times God says, you must remember, you must remember, you must remember. And it's not about remembering the pain of your past, but it's remembering the purpose of your path. Okay? So way too many people, are remembering the pain of their past instead of the purpose of their path. And your acronyms and principles and pictures and stories help people with stuff like that. Now you're doing this as a challenge. It's a 3-day challenge. I know you have an extra VIP day. Can you tell us more about the challenge that's coming up? And tell us, and once you finish, I'm also going to ask you to tell us about your YouTube channel that's blowing up, because you're now pouring out content on YouTube, a lot of free content on YouTube, and with your challenges, they're all virtually free as well. So I want to hear more about your challenge. Tell us about the Kingdom Genius Challenge.
Thank you, Bishop. Yes, January 15th through 17th, and we're going to have that bonus VIP day on the 18th. The Kingdom Genius Challenge, it's a life transforming 3-day experience designed to help participants to unlock their full potential, their divine identity, and to tap into their spiritual genius and to activate their God-given potential. It's so very important that if you can come to this particular Kingdom Genius Challenge and find out that you are Kingdom Genius and why, you're going to walk out feeling like you're gifted, empowered, noble, intelligent, unique, and smart. The reason you are going to feel that way is once you've given your life to Christ, you now need to understand who you are. Who you are. You are a kingdom genius, and therefore Nothing is impossible to you. You are unstoppable. I have some particular acronyms that I want to share this time that I did not share in our last challenge, that will just help give you a tremendous amount of confidence. It's going to give you assurance, and then it's going to give you something else, perseverance. That's another cap, Bishop. It's another cap for you to put on. You're going to have this confidence, this assurance, and this perseverance that, hey, when you run into trials, which we all do, you know that this trial is not here to stop you. It's just here to feed your faith. And so therefore, Bishop, you're going to receive powerful strategies at this Kingdom Genius challenges and frameworks, some practical tools that you can take into to shaping your inner and outer worlds.
Wow, wow, and wow. So look, I can't wait. The last one I left on such a spiritual high, and then of course you surprised everyone with all of these bonuses, right? Like no one expected that they were going to get an email the next day where you were able to give meaning to to their very names. You were able to break down their name and give it spiritual meaning. See, everything about this great message, from the acronyms, the principles, the pictures. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Here you are wearing your cap that says Kingdom Genius. It simply means, look, you're not going to forget who you are. You're never going to forget whose you are, and you're not going to forget, your assignment, right? Your purpose, and you're really going to equip people, and I'm looking forward to it. I learned so much in the last session. I know I shared a bit with the audience, but I learned so much more than I was able to share. So we're looking forward to this. Now, if people want to register, okay, I'm certainly going to put a link in the description beneath this video for people that want to register and for the challenge. But surprise us again with the actual cost of the whole training experience.
Bishop, it was hard to do it again, but we decided to do it. If you want to attend, it's going to cost you one whole dollar if you want to attend, because we want to get this word out. And someone wrote in the chat, they said this is the best dollar that they had ever spent before, Bishop. And so it's so it's a dollar for those general attendees. If you want to be a VIP, it's $99, and if you want to be a platinum, it's I believe it was 179. It's going to be on the website, Bishop, for them to be able to see it on there. I think it's 199 for that. So it's very, very, very powerful time, Bishop, for you to walk away understanding whatever people have called you before. When you hear your name given spiritual meaning, this time, Bishop, you're going to hear something else when they actually call your name. And so that's why it's so powerful. My name is Calvin Thompson, and I'm courageous, authentic, legitimate, valuable, invincible, and noble. I am a thought leader. I am honorable. I am opportunity. I am a masterpiece. I am possibilities. I am solutions. I am an owner, and I am notable. The reason why is those are all attributes and characteristics of God. Every day I wake up, it's the same thing. Bishop, you're getting me excited here this day.
Coach Cal, can I just say that your cap is looking really nice, and I'm hoping to get one of those caps and sport that cap around the world as I travel. But it says Kingdom Genius. Tell us a bit about that cap.
Bishop, I brought a cap for you. I don't know if you can see that, but here it is right here. I'm going to actually put it in the mail today. Kingdom Genius, this Kingdom Genius cap. I wanted to have a symbolic crown on my head every time I go out. Every time I go out, I wanted to know and to be reminded that I have God's capacity, I have God's ability, and I have God's provision. Every time I put the cap on my head, Bishop, it reminds me of what I have from God. His capacity, I have his ability, and I have his provision. It's also a covering for me, Bishop. This is a covering. I'm covered. I have his authority and I have his purpose. So, Bishop, it's a two cap concept, but it's not just a two cap concept, because what happens is when you wear it, you have you get God's confidence, you get his assurance, and you also get perseverance. Wow, Bishop, I can't help but to wear this cap. It's got blessing written on the back of it, Bishop. I understand the importance of wearing my crown.
Wow and wow. Well, good people, you heard it. I pray that you fired up. I pray that you heard something that resonated with you at a very deep and profound level, perhaps constituted a light bulb moment for you, an epiphany, and a eureka, a paradigm shift. And we want to take it to the next level, January 15th through the 17th, and then that special VIP day on the 18th. And all the details are going to be on the website. The link to the website is in the description beneath this video. Please do like if you like, share, subscribe to our channel, go over to Coach Cal's channel, subscribe to his channel, and let's just continue this kingdom conversation. I'm looking forward to meeting you, greeting you, and seeing you at the Kingdom Genius Challenge. God richly bless you, Genius Coach Cal. Love you so very much. Looking forward to seeing you and sharing with you and hearing from you at the Kingdom Genius Challenge. God bless. Peace
God
out.
bless.